In a newsroom, the Morgue is the collection of old notes and stories. And while exploring our own morgue, we found this series this week exploring an international mystery. In 1927, a week before Charles Lindbergh made his famous transatlantic journey, two pilots from France attempted to fly from Paris to New York.
The plane, called the White Bird, was never spotted again, but some believe the pilots could have gone off course and crashed right here in Maine. In 1984, there was a search for the wreckage. Rob Caldwell reports on that search, a project called Midnight Ghost.
Charles Nungesser and Francois Colli, perhaps the most famous pilots in France, took off from Paris on May 8, 1927. They were sighted by several reliable witnesses over the coast of Newfoundland the next day, headed on a path that would have brought them over eastern Maine. Later that afternoon, a local woodsman named Anson Berry was out fishing on Round Lake, north of Machias, when he heard a plane with a sputtering engine fly overhead and then crash. Anson Berry didn't go searching for that aircraft, but 57 years later, an expedition has been organized to find the plane Anson Berry never bothered to look for.
All right, so I'm all wired. You might want to stick the excess in your pocket.
Rick Gillespie is the director of Project Midnight Ghost, the effort to find the wreckage of the White Bird in the Round Lake Hills. In May, Gillespie and a dozen other volunteers made their first organized search.
All right. Okay, lead on. You're the guy with the wealth of knowledge.
Anson Berry's story is one thread that connects the White Bird to the Round Lake area. The other is the story of Ray Beck, who was hunting in these hills in 1950, sat down on a rock for lunch and saw an engine sticking out of the ground. The scene has stuck in his mind ever since 1980, when he read a magazine article theorizing that the plane Anson Berry heard was the White Bird.
I think this is what I wanted to do, come up here with an organized expedition. I've been in here many times on my own or with my son, Bill, but we've never had the equipment and the team that we have today.
Beck remembers he saw the engine on a high point of land. But after 34 years, his memory of the landscape plays tricks on him.
About every rock that I look at, or every tree that I think looks familiar. But I have found enough bona fide landmarks that I remember from my trek in here when I was 24 years old that convinced me that I am right. We're going to find it. And I want to be here when it's found. Somebody's going to find it, and I want to be here.
Gunnar Hansen wrote the article about Anson Berry that has led to the renewed interest in the White Bird. He's hiked the area several times and knows how hard it'll be to find the remains.
If it's in a dry area, that stuff shouldn't be buried very deeply. That's pretty thin soil there and it's pretty rocky. It's not going to go far down into the ground. The problem is that if it hit a bog, it could be partly submerged, and I've been through some of the bogs here. They're murdered to get through.
Anson Berry's story about hearing a plane crash has been a well-known bit of lore in the Machias area for decades. Berry died in the 1930s, but 89-year-old Albert Matatall remembers him well and thinks the White Bird lies somewhere in the Round Lake Hills.
I think he's out here somewhere. No, I really do. In fact, I've heard of fellows that has seen an engine in this country somewhere. I don't know where.
The people involved in this project talk about the search with a mixture of excitement and pessimism. The excitement comes from knowing that if the project is successful, the history books will have to be rewritten. The pessimism comes from knowing that one could walk right over the airplane and never even know it. Finding the plane probably won't be a matter of stumbling across it while hiking through the woods. Tomorrow we'll look at some of the unusual methods being used in the effort to track down the White Bird. And later in the week, we'll go to France to see what Francois Colli's granddaughter thinks of the whole project. In the Round Lake Hills near Wesley, Rob Caldwell, News Center.
So I don't remember this story, so I'm officially invested.
Yes.
I'm ready, and that's good because we'll be running all 5 parts of this series this week. Each one will air around this time, so we will continue to learn about the White Bird.
The mystery continues. Now I want to know what happens.
I know, right?